Alright guys, MarkBoy316 here with another video. This is going to be a DVD review for you guys. And I just ended up watching the history of the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the documentary is about 57 minutes long. Starts off pretty good. About halfway, still pretty good. Three-quarters of the way is where they start giving you misinformation of where the world title went and the lineage about it and stuff like that. Like they should have stuck with the big gold belt, but they start talking about the WCW belt, the one that Ron Simmons beat Vader for, and that's one of the matches on here. But they just should have started talking about this one, like it was still around in ECW as the International World Title, and it was still part when Flair left and went to WWF. It still was still the WCW title in WCW. Like, come on, like they lie a few times in the documentary, but that's not cool. But for what the documentary was, the beginning and the middle was pretty good. But starts off 1961, Buddy Rogers and Pat O'Connor, 2 out of 3 falls. It's actually the entire match from 1961, and ends up being Buddy Rogers getting the first fall. Then we get O'Connor getting the second fall, and then Buddy Rogers wins the third fall. And Buddy Rogers is your new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And at the end, he says, "To a nicer guy, it couldn't happen." So yeah. Then the next 3 matches are clipped. It's Dory Funk and Gene Knitsky from Florida. I guess the footage couldn't last all those years, so that was from 1969. So good footage. Same thing for Jack Briscoe and Terry Funk was just a clip match, and Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes, same thing, was a clipped match. Other than that, the next all the other matches are in full. We have Ric Flair versus Magnum TA from the AWA Super Clash 1. Great match. Just the commentator refers to Magnum's TA's belly to belly as a power slam, which that was stupid. And then when Flair picks up the victory and wins, as he gets the reverse roll up on Magnum TA, holds the tights, the commentator says, "Oh, Ric Flair wins the world title." No, he retained the world title. But other than that, great, awesome match back and forth. Magnum TA was great, and it just goes to show you how great Flair was. Awesome. He bled in the match too. It was all bloody, and great match. That was from what year was this? 1985, September 28th, first Super Clash. Great match. Then we got Nature Boy Ric Flair versus Sting, Great American Bash 1990. This is where he had the Steiners, Junkyard Dog, and Paul Orndorff as the dudes with attitudes all around ringside to keep the Horsemen away. They had Ole Anderson handcuffed to Eddie Gante, who was Giant Gonzalez, on the ramp, so he wouldn't interfere. And it was you had to win by pinfall and submission, so basically no DQ. And Sting just had come back from knee surgery, and all through the match, Flair kept working on Sting's knee. At the beginning, Sting was nothing wrong with his knee. Then all of a sudden, Flair started working on it, and a lot of back and forth. He does the chops to Sting, no effect. Big body slam off the top rope by Sting on Flair, and then Flair goes for the figure 4. Sting counters in the small package, 1, 2, 3. You World Heavyweight Champion for the first time, I do believe. Sting, World Champion. So that was a great match right there. That was disc 1. That was probably the weaker disc out of the 3 because of the 3 clip matches. Disc 2, Clash of Champions, Scott Steiner versus Ric Flair. Great hard-hitting match here. Went to the TV time limit draw, which is about a 25-minute draw for Clash of the Champions. 14 on the same card. We had Sting and Luger going against Doom for the tag titles on the same clash. But the Ric Flair Scott Steiner match, great stuff. Steiner hits a power bomb on Flair. They fight on the outside. Rick Steiner keeps taking Flair's feet off the ropes and throwing Rick back in to help his brother. And Steiner at the end hits a belly-to-belly suplex, gets a 1, 2, and the bell rings. So he almost had the 3 count. So great freaking match right there. Then we have Luger versus Barry Windham in a steel cage from Great American Bash 1991. This is when Flair had gone to WWE already, and they were all chanting "We want Flair," but it was Barry Windham and Luger in a steel cage. Luger was the U.S. champ. Windham, this was for the vacant title. So yeah, odd choice to make this a steel cage match because they didn't use the cage at all. It would have been a great one-on-one match if it would have been a one-on-one. Great stuff. But yeah, the only time they used the cage really was when Wyndham was in the torture rack. He kicked his feet off the cage to counter the move. A huge superplex off the top rope. Wyndham hits a huge clothesline off the top rope. Uh, Luger, like I said, goes for the torture rack. Wyndham counters. Uh, just some good matches. Harley Race and Curtis Hughes come down. Race talks to Luger and says, "Hey, it's time. He's the pod driver and your new world champion, Lex Luger." But it should have been just a straight one-on-one match. It was just a good match. If they would have used the cage, it would have been a great match. But it was just a good match. Good stuff there. Then we have Ron Simmons and Vader for the WCW title. That was a small WCW belt, not this one, but the small one. And this is where it was supposed to be. Was it Vader and Sting? And he was replacing Sting, and it was Ron Simmons who got the win. Hard hitting match. Vader was kicking Ron Simmons' ass through this match in the corner, splashing him. Simmons kept kicking out. Huge flying shoulder tackle by Simmons. Vader kicks out. Then finally, he sends Vader to the ropes, catches him with the power slam. Your new world champion, first African American champion, Ron Simmons. Good match. Then we got Vader versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from WCW Saturday Night. Very rare match, great match. It's a lumberjack match, but here they call it a human cage match, which is stupid. It's a lumberjack match. Great freaking match. Steamboat and Vader worked well together. And Steamboat hits a big springboard chop on Vader. Tries for the crossbody. Gets a 2 count. And again, hard hitting match. Vader is splashing and going for the Vader bomb. Misses the Vader bomb. Great stuff. And then all the lumberjacks start fighting at ringside, distracts the refs. Sid comes in, powerbombs Steamboat, and Vader gets the win and keeps the title. But a great lumberjack match. Then we got what's the next match? Career versus career. Hogan versus Flair in a steel cage, title versus career, with Mr. T as the ref. This is how you do a cage match: bloody, brutal. Both men ramming themselves in the cage, and Sherry Martel was at ringside. A masked man appeared from under the ring, started beating up Sting and Jimmy Hart at ringside with a pipe, and Sherry Martel starts climbing into the cage, and Hogan starts beating up Sherry Martel and Flair together. It's done with a double clothesline. Sherry Martel handcuffs Mr. T to the ring rope. For some reason, why he was the ref, like needed the ref to count. But yeah, finally Hogan dispatches both Sherry Martel, knocks her out with the big boot, then drops the big leg on Flair, drags him over the T. T counts to 1, 2, 3, and great steel cage match right there. Then Super Brawl 8 for the vacant title, Hogan versus Sting. Another hard-hitting match, good stuff. Sting charges the ring right away, and Hogan starts whipping Sting with his belt, with his weightlifting belt, and then Hogan kicking Sting's ass pretty much throughout the match. Sting hits the Scorpion Death Drop. Hogan kicks out. Then he gets the sharpshooter on him. Hogan gets to the ropes. So yeah, the referee gets taken out in the corner. Then Nick Patrick comes out and Hogan says, I got my NWO referee. Nope. Patrick called the match right down the middle. And it ends when Savage comes in, hits Hogan with a spray can. Sting gets the cover. 1, 2, 3. Your new world champion, Sting. Good match. Then we got from the Georgia Dome in front of 40,000 people on free TV, U.S. champion Goldberg challenging Hogan for the world title. Great match here. The fans made this match better than it was. Hogan getting like low blows and cheap shots on Goldberg and doing everything possible to try to cheat and keep his title. But Goldberg ends up hitting the spear and the jackhammer. 1, 2, 3. The reaction and the noise of him winning that world title. Holy crap. Hitting from the NWO comes down to interfere. Carmelo and Page hit the dumb and cutter on them. Great stuff. But great match, great win for Goldberg. Next we have Booker T and Jarrett from Bash at the Beach 2000. Great stuff here too. This is the infamous match where Hogan comes out, puts a foot on the chest of Jarrett, gets the win, and then Russo reverses the decision, gives the belt back to Jarrett, and then it's him and Booker. It's a great match. They fight all over the crowd, in the arena, all over the place. get back in the ring. Booker hits the axe kick, and then hits the bookend, and your new heavyweight champion, Booker T. Great freaking match. Fans went nuts when Booker won that title. Then we had Jericho versus The Rock from No Mercy 2001 for the WCW title. Before it was back known as the world title, it was the WCW world title, and it was in WWE at the time. And it was Rock as the champ. Great match here, back and forth, two baby faces basically. And Jericho tries to pin The Rock with his own move with Rock bottom. Rock kicks out. Rock goes for the sharpshooter. Jericho survives that. He gets rock bottom through the announce table, which looked brutal. That was awesome. And Stephanie McMahon comes down to the ring trying to cost Jericho the match because she doesn't like Jericho and didn't really like The Rock either. But then Jericho hits that weird breakdown, kind of like the skull cracking finale the Miz does on The Rock, right to the steel chair, and then gets the win and becomes the new WCW champion. So good match. This two here was probably the best disc on the set, and this one had only 7 matches on the last disc, but there were some great matches. Triple H versus Van Dam from Unforgivable 2. Great stuff here. Middle of the match, Van Dam starts making fun of Triple H spitting water. It's awesome stuff. And he hits the Rolling Thunder, a lot of spin kicks, a dive over the top where Van Dam misses. And then towards the end of the match, Flair comes out with a sledgehammer. And it looks like he's going to hit Triple H, but he hits RVD in the gut. Triple H has the pedigree, 1, 2, 3. And and still world champion, Triple H. Good match. Then it's Taboo Tuesday from 2004. Triple H and Shawn Michaels going into it. People are thinking Shawn Michaels is pretending to be hurt, but he actually was, and he keeps zoning in on the leg throughout the whole match. Triple H on Michaels. Michaels gets a few hope spots in. Nails the big elbow off the top rope. Then he hits the super kick when coming in, and out of nowhere through the crowd, Edge comes, spears Shawn Michaels. Triple H crawls over to Michaels and pins him 1, 2, 3. And Edge was saying, should have been me, because the fans voted to see who was going to be getting the shot. And Michaels got the more votes. So yeah, that was good. Then it was Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. It was right after WrestleMania 22, where Rey won the title from Kurt Angle and Randy Orton, but here on SmackDown he fought Randy Orton, his first title defense. It was like April 7th, 2006, so days after Mania. Great match here on SmackDown. Randy Orton got most of the match, was hitting his signature moves on Rey, a big neck breaker, a great drop kick by Randy Orton, nailing Mysterio in the face. Mysterio doing some seated sentons and dives. Mysterio hitting some great offense in the match. Finally, Randy Orton charges, misses, runs into the corner, 619 by Mysterio, knocks Orton loopy, then again another 619, and then hits the drop the dime, springboard leg drop. Mysterio is still your world heavyweight champion. Great stuff. Then we get the triple threat from Armageddon 2007. Batista defending against Undertaker and Edge. Great freaking match. Triple threat. This is a hard hitting. Taker and Batista start off. Edge is picking his spots during the match to pick his spots where who's gonna pin in that. Finally, at the end, gets chair brought in. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins were the Edge heads back then, and they came in and kind of was an imposter Edge, and one of them gets taken out with chokeslam, and at the end, finally, Taker hits Tombstone on Batista, and Edge picks up the scraps, nails Taker with the chair, pins Batista, and the new world champion Edge. Great triple threat match. Then it's Cena versus Jericho, and Jericho's the world heavyweight champion in Boston, which was Cena's hometown basically, home state. But Cena gets the win. It was like 3 months coming back from neck surgery. Gets the win with the AA. And then the last match, great freaking ladder match from Extreme Rules 2009. Jeff Hardy versus Edge. Jeff beats Edge in a brutal ladder match. Ends up with Edge getting caught in the rungs of the ladder. and Jeff climbs up, gets the win. Out comes CM Punk with the Money in the Bank, cashes in, hits the GTS. Jeff kicks out, and then hits the second GTS. Punk is your new world champion. But a great ladder match. All in all, the match listing was great. They could have picked different matches for the ones that were clipped. They could have picked actually full matches. I understand it was old footage, yes, but other than that, the documentary not that great, but pretty good match listing. Best disc was disc number 2. It was all like old school stuff, great stuff, and a lot of matches that were like never released. So great stuff, but a very good set. Highly recommended. So, but if the like I said, I recommend the matches, not quite so much the documentary. So thank you guys for joining me. Catch you guys in the next one.